All right, MADT fans, are you ready to find out who will be on what tour and where they will be headed? Because it is time for the 2023 tours. Up first, we have Arena Battle Series Central. We will have Katniss driving Megalodon, Monster Aviation, Just Get Her Done, Second Generation, Nick Wildside, Alex, Terminal Velocity, Jeffrey Dragon, and Bruce in Gravedigger, along with two to be announced trucks and drivers. So my prediction for this tour would have to be Bruce in Gravedigger or Jeffrey in Dragon. They are definitely the two threats on the tour so far. So definitely my picks for the Central Tour. They will be headed to Hampton, Virginia, Kansas City, Missouri, Newark, New Jersey, Grand Rapids, Michigan, Columbus, Ohio, Rosemont, Illinois, Cleveland, Ohio, and ending it off in Reno, Nevada. So that should be interesting. We'll be going to Reno, Nevada here in a couple of weeks. So, 2 months, I guess. So not a couple of weeks, but close to a couple of weeks. But yeah, that is the tour, the Central Tour. Very good tour. Like I said, I think Bruce, Gravedigger, Jeffrey Dragon, two of the threats. But Alex and Terminal Velocity, Monster Aviation, Just Get Her Done, Second Generation might also be a threat somewhere down the line. We'll just have to see. Next up, we have the Arena Battle Series East. And there are 4 to be announced trucks and drivers, so we will give you the 4 that have been announced. We have Austin and Gravedigger, Luis El Toro Loco, Maddie Monster Mutt Dalmatian, and Brett and Octanator. So Brett and Octanator is interesting to see because we will be seeing a second Octanator running on the tours on the East Coast, where Octanator hasn't really been, and neither has Team Throttle Monster. They don't go to the East Coast much, so that'll be very interesting to see. I think Austin will take another win again on the East Tour. He's my pick for that tour, so we'll see what happens. Out of all the tours, I don't know if this one would be the most craziest at all the arena tours. I think West Tour is going to be one that's going to be a little hard to pick who will win it. So, with that being said, let's check out the stops for the East Tour. We have North Charleston, South Carolina, Baltimore, Maryland, Allentown, Pennsylvania, Worcester, Massachusetts, Louisville, Kentucky, Washington, D.C., Macon, Georgia, and Florence, South Carolina. I know lots of those places on there are very cool. I know Louisville is where we announced the East Tour winner last year, or this year technically. So that'll be interesting to see. I'm really excited for Washington, D.C. That show was a hit this year. Same with the Worcester, Massachusetts. Baltimore, Maryland was pretty good. Allentown, first time we were going there, I believe. And same with Florence, South Carolina. Macon, Georgia. And yeah, those are all the new places that we're going to. So my pick for this tour, of course, Austin and Gravedigger. So I think that he will rock Baltimore, Maryland, as he did last year. And the other shows that he will be at. Now, I do have to say, I think Luis kind of has an advantage in Washington, D.C. since he really tore it down there last year, or this year. So it'll be interesting to see. Our next tour is the Arena Battle Series West. And the lineup is Angie in Gravedigger, Miguel El Toro Loco, Isaac Earthshaker, Ty Jurassic Attack, somebody that's returning, Laura Monster Mutt Dalmatian, Monty and Raminator, and 2 to be announced drivers. My pick for this tour would have to be Isaac and Earthshaker. He just got beat by Bruce in the 2022 season, And I know Bruce is really good. That's why I had him for my pick with the Central Tour. But with Jeffrey on the tour, I think it's going to be a little more difficult because Jeffrey, I mean, he was close to winning his tour, but Austin took it away from him. So there's a little bit of Gravedigger threat, I guess. Lots of the Gravedigger drivers are pretty good. Angie is pretty good. She won her tour, actually. So maybe Angie in the Gravedigger may take the Series West win, but I think Isaac has a higher chance. So we'll see if Isaac and the Earthshaker will be able to take the win. Now, Laura, Monster Dalmatian, returning the tours, which that should be pretty cool. She'll be running alongside Time Jurassic Attack Monty Raminator, making his West Coast debut, which is where he lives. So that should be nice to see. The stops will be Salt Lake City, Utah, Tacoma, Washington, Sacramento, California, Fargo, North Dakota, Portland, Oregon, which is other than Madras, Oregon. It is MADT's hometown show. So that incredible lineup for the hometown show. Fresno, California, Austin, Texas, Malina, Illinois, and Green Bay, Wisconsin. So, I know I'm excited for Portland, Oregon, Tacoma, Washington, and Salt Lake City. Sacramento is always fun. So, these tours will be really interesting. These arena tours will be interesting to see how they play out because they all have really incredible drivers, but it does appear that there are drivers that stand out to me more than others that I think will really take the win. Like Arena Battle Series East, I think Austin will win. Central, I guarantee Bruce or Jeffrey will win. And West Tour, Isaac and Earthshaker's my pick. Miguel, I don't know. He might be he'll be the one that takes the overall wins every weekend, that's for sure. But Isaac is gonna be the one that will win freestyle and possibly get the overall win. So that should be really cool to see. But now it is time to move on to the stadium tours, which I know is something that everybody always loves to see. Everybody loves the stadium tours. I'm more of an arena guy, but you can never go wrong with the stadium. So, our first stadium tour is Stadium Championship Series Red. And to be announced, driver in Gravedigger, Franz Max D, celebrating the 20th anniversary of Max D. Koblox, Bakugan, Dragonoid, Shandon, Soldier Fortune, Justin Octonator making his Stadium Tour debut. Collector Racing, Vendetta, Jax, Jester, and finally FJ and Kraken. Now my pick for this tour will be Franz Max D, because he won his tour last time. No, Bimmers, I think. No, yeah, it was Bimmers, I think. I do believe Bimmers won. But anyways, I do think now that Bimmers is retiring, well, not going to say much, but there's a little reason why that says to be announced a Gravedigger. He may be rethinking his choices. We'll just have to see. So, Franz Max D is definitely my pick right now. Koblox, Bakugan, Dragonoid might be a threat too. He does really well. I know at World Finals he did pretty good. Franz Max D, I mean, he placed as second, I believe, at World Finals, so definitely a threat. The stops will be Biloxi, Mississippi, Oakland, California, Vancouver, British Columbia, St. Louis, Missouri, Miami, Florida, Tampa, Florida, Raleigh, North Carolina, South Haven, Mississippi, Minneapolis, Minnesota, Atlanta, Georgia, and East Rutherford, New Jersey. So Atlanta, Georgia, so lucky to get the Red Tour, and Justin is really lucky to be on that tour because Atlanta, Georgia is a show that no one will want to miss. It is the biggest floor that MADT has ever had in the history of MADT. So that'll be interesting to see. Up next, we have the Stadium Championship Series Blue. Now we have Nick and Gravedigger, Raptor Zombie, Polaris Son of a Digger, powered by Aces Magic YT, Shy Guy Salvager, Jesus Bad Company, Vance and Saigon Shaker, Combat Corsair Adventure, and Pesky in Megalodon, along with 6 to be announced drivers, same with the other tour. So, my pick is going to be Nick, Gravedigger or Polaris Son of a Digger. I know Nick and Polaris were on the same tour last year or this year, but Nick ended up winning. He did it. So, well, no, it was, I do believe Polaris took the win actually, but they are always battling. But then you throw someone like Vance in there. I know Vance says that Polaris scares him, so you never know. Maybe Vance won't go as crazy because he might have that pressure. Like, I know some drivers just feel so pressured that they end up crashing early. They just don't do great at all, so we'll see. But yeah, my pick is Nick Gravedigger or Polaris and Son of a Digger. And the stops will be San Diego, California, Houston, Texas, Indianapolis, Indiana, Anaheim, California, El Paso, Texas, Nampa, Idaho, Denver, Colorado, Syracuse, New York, which is Vance's hometown, Vancouver, British Columbia, no, not the stadium, the arena, and finally Salinas, California. So that would be cool to see Salinas actually be on the tour this year and actually get a stadium lineup for the first time ever. That is insane. And of course, the stadium lineup as of now is Nick Gravedigger, Raptor Zombie, Polaris Son of a Digger, Shy Guy Salvager, Jesus Bad Company, Van Saigon Shaker, Combat Corsair Avenger, Pesky Megalodon. So I do believe for as of now, those are the exact trucks that'll be in Salinas, California. Next, we have the International Championship Series 1 with a to be announced lineup and to be announced stop. So stay tuned for our little event that will happen on December 23rd, which will announce the rest of the new trucks and the, I guess, stops, and we'll reveal everything by then. That's for sure. So we'll have stops, new trucks. We'll actually get to see what the new trucks look in person. And speaking of new trucks, that is the part that everybody is waiting for. We will have DC superhero trucks competing next year, such as Batman. We won't say the rest as of now, but they're really cool. I know that some of them are built already, so it should be really cool to see. MADT 20th anniversary body. We will debut that at the little event that we're doing on December 23rd. And December 23rd is really special because we'll be in Arnhem, Netherlands. So, you know what that means? That means we are going to be doing the announcements internationally for the first time ever. So that should be really cool. Now, as of now, the Blue Tour ends in March. Red Tour ends in February. West Tour ends in March. East Tour ends in February, and Central Tour ends in February. Just in case anybody is wondering what the dates will be, I know we should have those announced by then. I know that this is pre-recorded, so right now, I know they're still working on the stop, so that should be available when this video comes out. So thank you for listening to me talk about the new stuff for this year. We really hope that you are excited. I know I cannot wait for this event. This is going to be, or this season, it's going to be one of the biggest seasons MADT has ever had. We're going to new places, new trucks, new everything, basically. Old setup, though. We would like to announce we will no longer have music, and we would also like to announce that scoring is pretty simple now. We are the ones that will be getting the scores. So we will announce, like how we used to do, just that is the new leader, that is not the new leader. So points will be interesting because it's going to be a whole different setup. But I know another thing that they wanted me to tell the fans was that we will be doing our season will go March through June, and then June through September is going to be international shows just kind of scattered throughout the months. And then spring break will be a time for our drivers and trucks to get ready for quarter 2. So that is after the World Finals on March 18th, 2023 in Glendale, Arizona. I know Super Bowl is happening there this next year, so That'll be pretty cool. We can say that we've had World Finals at a place that has had the Super Bowl. That's insane. But yeah, I think that that's all the information I have to say. Oh yeah, and then October through December is when we'll do our final fall and winter shows, and then December through January. So basically, December, like 3 weeks into December, and then everything after that until the first weekend of January will all be non-event times. I do believe we'll have some international stuff scattered through there, but we would like to give the drivers and trucks a break. I know I'd like a break from hosting because that is also around the time when I'm doing my own kind of stuff. That's why we decided on that schedule, and that's what worked last year. So that's why we pumped out so many shows last year, and this year we just could not handle the schedule. So should be interesting. So like I said, thank you for listening to this. We hope that you come out to our shows next year. See you next year and see you next week, MADT fans.